Alright guys, welcome to Go On Hiking, and this is the video about all the gear that I took on my coast to coast walk. It took me a while to get around to doing it, but finally here. Loads of people, and by loads of people I mean about two people have asked me to run through my gear, so why not? I'm not doing anything else today, so here goes. Everything in front of me is what I wore pretty much. And there is my packed pack, so I'm going to do it a bit differently this time. I'm going to unpack it so you can see how everything goes in and everything fits and all that. So here goes. So first item, baseball cap, sun protection. What can you say, it's a baseball cap. Next items, trail runners. These are Brooks Cascadia 14s. This is the second pair I've had because I really enjoyed the first pair. Nice grips, great cushioning, very comfortable, pretty long lasting. These have got about 300 miles on them and they're not much sign of wear. My other pair did probably 600 miles before they gave up on me. And they're also quick drying. From soaked to drying out is about half an hour, so nice, they're good. Socks, some Darn Toughs. I thought I'd get on the Darn Tough bandwagon, and the hype is real, people. These are just great socks. I think they're a merino blend, mid-height, very comfortable, dry nicely, don't smell too much. Next up, Under Armour boxers, long-legged. Ignore those stains. It's just dust, honestly. I'll edit that out, or maybe I won't. Long-legged boxers for anyone like me are game changers. Anyone with chunky thighs, got it right this time. Me with thunky. Me with thunky. Me with thunky. It'll get rid of chafing and you won't have any chafing problems with long-legged boxers. Great. I know everyone loves to wear running shorts, but I don't. I prefer combat type shorts. I love the versatility of all the different pockets, and they're pretty rugged. They might not be as quick drying, but I'm not really that bothered. I do take a second pair of everything generally. So I can alternate them if I feel like it. And t-shirt wise, still on these are good, love them. Mountain equipment, ground up t-shirts. Feel like cotton, but wick properly, not like cotton. Right then, the pack. So, where should we start with this? This is the pack. It was how I had it packed on the hike for the coast to coast, and it is the Hyperlight Southwest Windrider 3400, which is a 55 litre pack. It's meant to be waterproof. It's Dyneema or Cuban fibre. It weighs about 900 grams, and it's got a little internal frame. It's got some carbon struts, no it hasn't, or aluminium struts. It's got some struts anyway. Two struts down the back which you can take out if you want, and it's got a bit of thin padding there. The hip belts are pretty good. They're meant to be waterproof. They're definitely shower proof, and the shoulder straps are pretty nice as well. They don't really look thick enough to be comfortable, but they are. Whatever padding material they've used does a really good job. I also bought the foam pouch to go on that side. I got these from some Slovakian company on sale, so it was cheaper than actually buying it from the Hyperlight website themselves. And being in the UK, you have to add on shipping and you have to add on a hell of a lot of tax. So I got it for a pretty good deal, to be fair. So that's why I bought this particular model. I'll talk briefly about the pack because it's a new bit of gear to me and how I found it after 2 weeks. Generally I was surprised at how comfortable it was, considering I've been used to Osprey packs, and how waterproof it was. Didn't get any rain in it. It did get a little bit of moisture in it, but I think that was from the warmth of my back and the cold air inside it sort of condensing any tiny little bit of moisture, but it was negligible. It was nothing to really speak about. I love the roll top design. I like the mesh pockets, good for drying. It's held up okay. There are a few bits that I think the stitching looks a tad questionable, but you know, it's only had 2 weeks worth of use at this point, so no long-term test. The one major downside I found with this is sweaty back. Just having that sort of Osprey air system is an absolute luxury. Your back breathes beautifully, doesn't get sweaty. With your back right up against that, it does have a tendency to get a sweaty back. But overall, good pack, pretty impressed with it. So let's have a look around it. Hip belts, what would I keep in my hip belts? I've got a buff in that one, but I tend to keep snacks in the one side and in the other side, without it falling over. It's probably going to fall over. In the other side I would keep headphones, I would keep my map for the day, use the Harvey's Coast to Coast maps. There's two, a little just button compass and a small pocket knife, Swiss Army knife, got a few little bits on, knife, nail file, tweezers, toothpick and some mini scissors. It's teeny, but it does everything you need. On the one side I would keep my water, 2 2-litre water bottles I took with me. That was about right. They are a little tricky to reach in and get out, but other than that they didn't fall out the pockets. Next up, the phone pouch. I'd keep my GoPro there. It's just handy to just reach in and reach out quite quickly, film something, move on. GoPro, wind muff, and the little shorty tripod cum selfie stick. And inside it did seem reasonably waterproof. Just phone. There we go. Coming round to this side, I kept my tent, which is the Z-Packs Duplex. I wanted to keep it on the side really, not in my pack in case it was wet, and I didn't want it on the top because I wanted to be able to throw clothing on there. So the side pocket is where I wanted to keep it. It's not actually in its own sack, it's in my Hex Peak bag, just because the shape of it's longer and thinner. The duplex bag it comes in is chunkier and stubbier. So that's the Z-Packs Duplex. Off you go. On the top of my bag I would generally keep my fleece layer and my sit pad, just a general sit pad, my fleece layer, Rab Nexus microgrid hoodie, warm and breathable, very comfortable, really nice just as an extra bit of warmth. Right, so in the front main pocket I would keep my poop kit, my water kit, my waterproofs, waterproof coat, waterproof trousers, my drone, and my pegs. Let's have a little look at that stuff and then come back to the back. So, waterproofs, some Rab waterproof trousers, downpour pants, not quite sure what material they are, Pertex Shield. They were good, yep, did the job. Waterproof trousers, pretty light. Patagonia Gore-Tex raincoat. I picked that up after my JMT hike in the Patagonia store in Reno. I went in there to laugh at how expensive everything was going to be, and that was on sale for 80 quid, so absolute bargain, had to have that. I only had 2 days of rain really on the coast to coast, 1 day of sort of solid dampness in the air and rain, and it didn't actually wet out, which is nice. It probably will at some point. I don't think there's any such thing as a proper waterproof coat, but I haven't tested that to the point that it's wet out yet. Pegs, same as last time. Some groundhog style pegs, but they came with the A-Lux, and some MSR needles. Probably can't see them from there. They're pegs. It's not that exciting. Poop kit. Didn't have to use this once at all. Deuce of spades, the Deuce 2 trowel, and some biodegradable wet wipes. Didn't have to use, only wild camped twice. There's plenty of shops, pubs, toilets en route, so could have done without. Water filter, soya squeeze mini, and a couple of the Aquatab things. Never used them. I think I only filtered water once. Some nice yellow water out of the River Swale. So again, you could probably do without it, but it's nice to have it. There are plenty of streams on the way, but be careful, don't filter water in farmland where, you know, there's agricultural runoff. Only filter mountain water. And there's a drone, new bit of gear, which I'm loving so far. I'm not great at flying it. That needs work, definitely. In a dry bag, then to keep it protected in some bubble wrap. It is the Mavic Mini. And yeah, it's good. Great little bit of kit. Films in 2.7K up to 60 frames per second, and stabilised gimbal. About half an hour running time per battery. Okay, so let's have a look at what's in the bag. Roll top closure. Still plenty of room in there. Can fit more gear in. Put it down. The other map. An upgraded pillow. Yeah, I know that is huge, but I don't care. My old pillow was rubbish and I need a good night's sleep. This is the Thermarest Airhead. It's probably 3 times as heavy as my other pillow. It's about 150 grams. My old one was less than 50, but it's absolute luxury. Let's blow it up quick. So my old one was too thin, and it didn't keep your head and your spine aligned. This is much thicker. It's got a thick layer of foam in there as well, and it's got this lovely plush sort of suede cover. and it's wonderful, and I don't care that it's 3 times as big or 3 times as heavy as most other pillows, because it's brilliant. What else we got in this sack? Food bag. Let's have a look at the food bag. There's loads and loads of places on the coast to coast to buy food. You walk past a shop or a pub every day. You don't need to carry much food at all. I generally just carried 1 or 2 of the boil in the bag, sort of freeze-dried meals as an emergency. Excuse me. And I still came back with 1 of them, I think. So yeah, just buy food en route, save yourself a load of weight. Don't pack a load of food, just take a couple of bits. Take yourself bars and things for in the day, but you'll go past a shop or a pub or something every day, like I said. I took a few drinks mixes and hot chocolates. Got the usual standard stuff, long handle sport for getting in to the bottom of them, and a titanium mug, Outtakes 750ml. So yeah, just boil the water in there. And inside here, washcloth, pocket rocket 2, little scourer. That's grubby, that needs a wash. I'm sure I washed that. And a gas, yeah, just in a little bag to stop any scratches. And that's probably it as far as my cook kit. Right, let's have a look. Delving into the bag. Next couple of items is fire kit. I didn't have a fire. This wasn't really worth taking. Fire kit usually consists of cotton balls, Vaseline. It's always useful to take Vaseline for chafing and your lips and for starting fires. A little lighter and a little ferro rod, and again I didn't use any of that stuff, but it's nice to take with you just in case. Toiletry bag was fairly minimal, again all just in a Ziploc. So I'd have took some painkillers, some diarrhea tablets, some wet wipes just in case you're wild camping. Small bag of wet wipes will do the job there. A little washcloth, some multi-purpose soap. I use that for washing in, for showering in, for washing up. Does everything. Washcloth for my body. A little super glue for repairs, some earplugs, mini toothpaste, mini toothbrush, okay, and a little repair patch kit with some seam sealant, some repair patches, and some little sort of bandages, band-aids, whatever you call them. So next up, electronics bag. Oh, heaviest bit of kit by a country mile, which we know is longer than town mile. Off you go, son. So I think my bag would be half the weight it is without all my electronics. Okay, right, finally, electronics. Let's all have a look at all this stuff. Electronics weighs a ton. I've really had to up my charging game. I've had to buy this charging port, which is a 5 USB port. It's a Qualcomm one. It's got 2 Qualcomm fast rapid charges, and then just 3 sort of normal quick charges. Because essentially I've got 5 things to charge now whenever I find a plug socket. I've got an Anker 20,000 milliamp power bank. I've got the drone controller, the drone battery pack with 3 batteries, the GoPro with 3 spare batteries, and a phone. So, and all the corresponding cables. So yeah, a ton of stuff to charge now and a ton of weight. Head torch, took a slightly lighter torch this time. It's the Petzl E-Light. It takes watch battery, so I just took a spare watch battery with that. It's fine for a camp light. It's not quite bright enough to night hike with. I knew I wouldn't be doing any night hiking on this trip. Ease of use, just a rotating dial and a red light as well. So yeah, that's that. GoPro is the Hero 7 Black. Stabilization's not bad, quality's not bad. It's not a digital SLR, but it's compact and it's easy to use. Got a love-hate relationship with this thing, as I think most people have. It is brilliant, you know, bit of kit for the size of it. It's waterproof. It does a generally good job. It's a general all-rounder sort of thing. And since having stabilisation, it's worth getting a GoPro. They've advanced a few models since this one now. The hate bit of the relationship is it's got a mind of its own. Sometimes it doesn't want to turn on, sometimes it doesn't want to turn off, sometimes it doesn't want to record, sometimes you have to unscrew everything to take the battery out to reset it. It drives you nuts sometimes, but it is a brilliant bit of kit. The drone's been great so far. Bought the Fly More pack with a battery charger and 3 batteries, which you can charge in one go. Tells you how much charge each one's got. You could also use this as a power bank and charge other stuff off it if your power bank had run out. Probably could have just took 1 battery and kept recharging it over and over again rather than taking all 3. But they say you pack your fears, and one of my fears must be running out of battery. So that's electronics. Let's get rid of them and have a look at what's next. I suppose one more thing you could class as electronics is my watch. Sunto Core. It's not GPS, but it's got altitude, compass, barometer. I didn't really want another GPS device. Your phone does that. And it's another thing to charge. The battery lasts ages on that, and so it just gives you the vital stats you need. Looking into the bottom of the sack is a dry bag. Let's have a look at the last few bits and pieces first. Here's my sleeping pad. It is the Outtakes Numo. It weighs about 330 grams. It's not an insulated pad, but it's nice and thick and comfortable, and I like it. And it's cheap, it's about 40 quid. I don't take trekking poles. Some hikes I do, some I don't. Didn't take trekking poles this time, so I've got these Z-Packs carbon poles for the tent. They weigh about 70 grams each instead of probably 200, 250 grams each for a hiking pole, so weight saving there. So dry bag. In this dry bag is my sleeping bag at the bottom and my spare clothes at the top. I know a lot of people just put a bin bag or one huge dry bag in this pack and throw everything into that. I prefer to sort of put everything into different dry bags, just so you know what you've got to hand. You've got an electronics bag, you've got a kitchen bag. I prefer to compartmentalise stuff than to throw everything into one big bag. It might be a few more grams, but I prefer the organisation of it. This is a Sea to Summit dry bag. I like this because it's a dry bag to keep your clothes and stuff in, but it's also a little day sack. So if you don't want to take your big bag anywhere, if you're nipping down the pub on a night and you want to take all your electronics to charge, I just throw this over my shoulder. It's also waterproof. So cracking. So let's have a look in here. Oh, overkill, another dry bag. Somebody loves their dry bags. In here, puffy jacket, mountain equipment, erect, I think, something like that it's called. It's about 300 grams. It's nice and it's warm. Not really a full-on winter one, but it's fine for 3-season use. What else we got? So, a pair of hiking trousers. These are zip-off ones, so I can make them into shorts. They're fast-drying, wicking sort of ones. So I would alternate with my combat shorts. If the weather looked wet, I'd probably wear them over the combat shorts so they don't dry as well. If it's cold, you can put them, you can have them as trousers, etc, etc. They're just zip-off trousers. There's not much to go about them. A second ground up t-shirt, a second pair of Under Armour boxers, second pair of merino wool socks, some seal skins. I know a lot of people get on well with waterproof stuff, but I don't. These wet out after a couple of hours of walking through wet grass. My preferred method is to wear the merino socks and just get wet, and then rather than take camp shoes at night, if your trail runners are wet and you're going to the pub on the night or you're around camp, just stick your waterproof socks on then, and use your waterproof socks in and around camp rather than to actually walk with. And then my feet have stayed dry. Walking in them, they've just wetted out eventually. Some merino fingerless gloves, a little thin chamois pack towel. If you're going past a lot of campsites, you can have a shower and dry yourself. And last but not least is Outtakes Pipe Dream 400. So, sleeping bag, Outtakes Pipe Dream 400. It's a good bag. It's slightly on the heavy side of things. It's about 900 grams, but it is rated to -4 degrees Celsius, or just above 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's fully featured, draft baffle, an internal sort of collar, full hood, full length zip. You can open it up and use it as more like a quilt if you want. Loads of people are into quilts these days. I still like a sleeping bag for when it gets cold. But yeah, and I have tested this to sub-zero to around -3, -4, and without an insulated pad. I've been nice and warm in it, so I'm happy with it. Will I get a lighter summer bag? Maybe at some point. And that's your lot, folks. That's been my gear. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I've been thinking about doing a few different videos to my usual style of just the walks. I've done the coast to coast twice now, so if anyone's interested in hints and tips and my experience of the coast to coast, let me know. If anybody wants gear reviews on individual items, I may do that. I was more thinking about doing how my gear's evolved sort of series, like how I started off with something and then I've progressed and changed and either bought lighter or more functional kit. I've probably got 2 or 3 of everything as my kit's evolved over the years. So if you're interested in any of that, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Ta-ra. With Thunky. Start again. You what's it called? Oh, bandages, not bandages, plasters. Plasters. Recharged. The Z-Packs carbon coals. Coals? I like to call Right. Start again. If your trail runners are wet, if your trail, it's still fairly okay, and 7